So good morning, it's day 8 of the Captain's blog, and as predicted, it's not a very nice morning. I'll show you in a moment. I woke up early this morning, I looked out the window, it was grey, drab, windy, chilly, and I just thought, nah, over back with the covers. So I've got up, cleaned around the boat a little bit more, and had breakfast, and it hasn't improved. It's quite chilly outside actually at the moment, especially when the wind starts blowing. So what are we going to do? So as you can see, thick cloud. It's pretty chilly out there. It's 7.5 degrees currently. So quite a big difference from yesterday, sort of 11, 12, 13 degrees in the sunshine. But I'm actually quite pleased in a way, because I'm back north, back where it's peaceful and quiet. You know, it's no worry about the big tides, the currents. So that does mean, I'm afraid, that the next couple of episodes are not going to be as interesting, as long, as rich as our sort of trip when we were down south. And the reason for that is because obviously we're going to have a little look around. Obviously we're going to go some places. My plan for this morning is pop down to just look at the ruins, because I always like to do that. Find it quite peaceful and nice. Come back to the boat, see if we can get under Laden Bridge, drop off the rubbish at one of the very, very few riverside waste collection points. And then we haven't been to Womack Water on this trip. And I did pop down to Ranworth Staithe last night, but it was full. But it might not be today, so that could be an idea. Whatever's got to happen, wherever I end up, is either got to be where there's a shop, so I can buy something to cook on board tonight, or a pub, so I can eat out tonight. Otherwise, if neither happen, I'm a bit screwed, and I'll be having sort of bread and water and crisps. Actually, that's my usual diet. Oh, sorry. So basically, off the boat, we'll go down, look at the ruins, we'll come back to the boat, we'll see about going up the Ant. What happens, where we go, how far we go, I don't know. I like to call these sort of days the cruiseabouts, because who knows, there's no plan, and I'm just taking these days easy, so forgive me if there's less video and less interest for you watching this. But I'll take these couple of days as a bit more of a chilled kind of, look after me and the inner soul, rather than worrying about 8 hours on the wheel. As ever though, more as it happens. So one of my favourite places on the Norfolk Broads is Benets Abbey, and I've just done a little clip on my iPhone just to see how it works, and posted it to the Norfolk Broads Boaters Facebook group. It came out really well. iPhone, iMovie, 5 minutes. So it's not about the equipment you've got. You can even make good little snippet videos on phones. It's amazing. But I'm here, no one's around. It's so quiet here. It really is peaceful. So I love to come here. I wanted to do more here with, filming and stuff with the weather. But that's going to have to wait. I'm definitely going to come back and try and get some sunrise, sunset, moody scenes here. But for now, we're going to leave, head off to Ludham. More as it happens. So I'm back on board the boat, and I'm a bit annoyed because the video that I took for the Norfolk Broads Boaters has been removed under copyright grounds because of Facebook. Nothing to do with the group, but basically I used iMovie stock music creator and chose the neon theme and did my video and uploaded it to Facebook, and they said, no, I'm sorry, that's copyright material, we've removed it unless you have permission from the song's owner to use their music. I'm like, what? So yeah, go Facebook and Apple for using music that one thinks is okay and the other thinks isn't okay. Anyway, we're going to be casting off the line shortly. I didn't get as much filming as I wanted to at the Abbey because then people came and then a guy launched a drone, and so I'll leave them to play. I'm going to go and see if I can get under Laden Bridge, drop off the rubbish, maybe get some water, and see where the day takes us. More as it happens. So here's the situation. I've come to depart the moorings, and as you can see, the wind is blowing this way. to most boaters this is quite helpful because it means the boat will just drift away from the bank and there's no worry about getting away from the bank. When you're a solo boater, this is the worst situation because the minute you untie either one of the ropes, the boat will just swing away straight away. So what do you do to overcome the situation? Well, first of all, you'll just do a quick release little knot down here, ready to go, nothing fancy. And then here you identify your boarding point. So for me it's at the back, and I've got here, look at that, it's just barely on. When I'm on the boat, I can then release from here and just pull that away, and then I'm safely on the boat. The boat can drift away from the bank and I'm in control then. So that's just a quick tip for any solo boaters, or maybe you're a couple, or you know, slightly less agile that can sort of untie, hold the boat and then leap on the boat as the boat drifts away, because the wind, as I say, is coming away just gently and you can see how the boat is being held by the ropes.
Yes, viewer, your ears aren't deceiving you. This is a voiceover on the Captain's blog, and welcome to the studios here in London town. Alright, my bedroom. And the glorious, picturesque River Rant. For regular viewers and visitors to the Norfolk Broads, you'll know this is the approach to Laden Bridge. You'll also be aware that a few yards behind this location is the advanced height gauge for the bridge, which gives a good idea of how much height you're going to expect to get underneath it. At this point you want to be lowering your screens, canopies, getting the dog and the grandmother inside, and maybe you're not going to fit under the bridge, so use those left hand side moorings there, have a cup of tea and see if the water drops. But don't use the ones on the right there because they're just for yacht demasting. But maybe you're like me, like a bit of risk in your life. Is the height marker at the bridge itself going to give you a better indication? Because let me tell you, the advanced one was less than 8 foot. I'm in a boat with a plaque height of 9 foot, a skipper's manual height of 8'10", and my best reckoning about 8'6" air draft actual. But I've also got a camera on the roof of the boat. Not many people helm their boats with cameras on the roof of their boats, so I thought, well, I've got to drop my rubbish off. So why don't I risk the camera and hope that that indeed will be the highest point in the boat. So if the camera fits under the bridge, the boat will fit under the bridge. And if the camera doesn't fit under the bridge, I just lose the camera. Of course it's going to be fine. I mean, I just cocked up with departing St. Benets and the ropes. There can't be two things go wrong in the same day, can there?
So we're at Laden Bridge. I'm just going to pop over the road to drop the rubbish off. But that was touch and go getting through the bridge. That was like put a cigarette paper between the roof rails and the bridge. But looking at the water, now I'm in the wind. Sorry about that. I'm just worried that that tide's actually still coming in, because I don't want to be trapped the other side of the bridge. But anyway, so yeah, let me get on and just drop my rubbish off and stuff, and then we'll get underway again the other side of the bridge. So just a little update for you. The time now is 20 minutes to 12, and I was so nervous at Ludham that the tide was coming in that I didn't even dare go to the shop. It was like, shit, drop the rubbish off, get back on the boat, turn it round and go. Now it is difficult with perspectives from the inside of the boat, but from the gentleman standing on the bridge and from the chap on Red October, a private boat, the look said it all. So we're through. I did remember to take the aerial off as well, which was handy. So heading back down the River Rant to the River Bure, and I'm really not sure where to go. As I say, I would like to end up somewhere where I can eat out tonight or go to a shop. So let's think first of all, practically, where can we go shopping? Well, we can go shopping in Wroxham, we can go to Roy's. So we've got Friday night, Saturday night and Sunday night. So let's either eat out for 3 nights or have provisions on board. And I think it's probably safer to have something on board for one of the nights at least, just in case. So I kind of talked myself into going to Wroxham now. Could go to Potter Heigham, which is probably closer, but Latham's doesn't really have that good a selection of food, and I might be tempted to buy something else I don't need that's nothing related to food. So yeah, I think generally speaking we'll head to Wroxham and then we'll see. Right, I'm glad we're all in agreement with that. Is everybody alright with that? Yep, okay, everybody's alright, we're going to Wroxham. It's just a completely different feel of things once you're on the northern rivers, because, oh, first of all, it's a lot calmer, narrow rivers, more boats, busier. Also, the distances between places is a lot smaller, and so you can think to yourself, I go to Wroxham, I get some shopping there, tonight I might want to go to Ranworth and go to the maltsters. It's that kind of possibility that you've got the choice, which is fine. But when you have a boat for a week or more, going backwards and forwards to places, or otherwise just staying put in one place, so you know, you might go to Nettysedge in the afternoon and then that's it, you know, get there at sort of 12 and moor up and don't move until the next morning, which I've done sort of before. I think there's so many, I think I'm talking too much again. Another thing that bothers me is things like WhatsApp, Viber, Telegraph, these sort of communication applications. The reason why it bothers me is because you seem to have so many just to cover a simple fact of I want to stay in touch with someone, but the person I want to stay in touch with prefers to use WhatsApp to send messages on. And when you ask them why they prefer to use this, they'll say, oh, it's because it's free. Yeah, I know it's free, but so's your phone. Like, if you call me, it's free, and if you text me, it's free, because you get your inclusive bundle. I get an inclusive bundle that is unlimited calls and unlimited text messages. It's free, but I don't get unlimited data. Do you get unlimited data? Probably not. Not many people do. So every time they use WhatsApp to make a phone call, send a photo, send a conversation to someone, it's using a little bit of data. So then you also have people that go, I don't use WhatsApp, get Viber. What's Viber? Oh no, it's better than WhatsApp. What? Alright, I'll get Viber. Don't use Viber, for God's sake. Don't use WhatsApp. That's owned by Facebook. They're evil. You need to get Telegraph. What's Telegraph? Well, it's like WhatsApp, but it's more secure and it's not owned by Facebook. And it's kind of like better than all the rest of them, and it's faster. Right. So, but it works the same as WhatsApp. Yeah. But it's another app I've got to get to stay in touch with you when I could just text you. Yeah. But why do I want to do this? Because it's free. And let's start again. What happened to the world when suddenly we need all of these other little things to do something really simple, which is to stay in touch? I don't know. So, yeah, I just don't understand the whole stuff. I like iMessage, I can understand iMessage. You've got an iPhone, I've got an iPhone. We send an iMessage to each other, and it's blue. Don't have an iPhone? Well, I'm sorry about that. You've got an Android phone. Well, tough shit. And then it goes green, and I think, well, that's a text message, that's cool. So we're just passing Wroxham Broad on our left-hand side, and I've spent the last 15 minutes just ranting at the camera. You might get to see these videos, I might not. It's a bit controversial. It's about Facebook groups, comments, WhatsApp, Viber, Telegraph, text messages, iMessage, email, computing. I've covered the whole bloody base. There isn't much more I could have had a rant about. But I do think there could be a niche for like boat diary / rant vlog. So you have a double camera set up, so basically you have an outside view and then a picture-in-picture of the person, could be me, and you're just looking, you just have it on, you go, that's a pretty scene, and while he's moaning about something. Because the great thing about a moan is that for every person that doesn't agree with that moan and thinks, oh, for God's sake, how can you say this? Another person will be like, it's a very good point he's got there. No, it's very true, very true. So it's literally 50-50. And so you can have people sort of in complete agreement with you, and it's very good, very good. And then other people are like, I want to kill him. And that's why I think secretly the Broads Authority do the policies they do. It's a bit like they have a tombola in the office and they go, okay guys, so can we pick a number? June, if you wouldn't mind please. 34 on the agenda, let's look down. Increase the tolls by 6%. Okay, let's just put that in the public domain because we're going to have a nice little argument here, but we'll also get some people agreeing with us. It's going to be 50-50. So maybe I should start doing this. I actually did a write-up on the Norfolk Broads forum, which was very funny. It got carried away, but someone innocently just posted a picture of this big, fast-looking boat at Alton Broad, and it was like, goodness me, that's a big boat. Yes, what do you think that's there for? Well, I don't know. And then someone said, oh, that's the new Broads Authority fast interceptor boat, and I went ding. And if I can find it later, I'll have to read it to you because it was very funny. It even involved many bad cliches. There was an Irishman, a Scotsman and a Welshman in a pub.
initially I was looking for somewhere to moor, and I indeed could have gone down to Faircraft Loynes, or as they otherwise are called, Norfolk Broads Direct, but I didn't. Barnes Brinkcraft, as you saw on the river, was very full. So this, I've then decided, was a opportunity to cruise around the boatyards in Wroxham, so that if you are coming to Wroxham, you haven't got a boat that fits under the bridge, this is where you can go and look for a mooring if you're in a hire boat. You may find the moorings at the back of Barnes Brinkcraft, here, coming up on our left, could be free. Just beyond those are Royals boatyard, but be aware that if it's a turnaround day or their boats are in very tight space, as you'll see, and as of the end of the 2017 season, obviously that hire yard is closing. Later on you'll see how to get into the hire yard for Summercraft in Wroxham, which again, if their boats aren't in, you could moor. So, a few tucked away little places that some people might not be aware of exist, so now you can follow this and see off the main river how you get to them.
So we're just turning the bend at Horning with the Swan into my left, and then shortly ahead of me on my left will be the New Inn, where hopefully I'll be able to pull in and have some food and wander down to the little shop here in Horning as well. In fact, there would be space at the Staithe. Staithe, but you know, the Horning moorings, if the boats weren't spaced quite as they are. So we're here, moored up safely at the New Inn, and just as I was coming along to turn to moor, I saw the masthead of Broad Ambition coming towards me. So they're now by the side of me, which is quite odd because I'm on a hire boat and there's Broad Ambition next to me. So Charlie and his wife and a couple of guests are on board. They're having a nice time. I'm going to go and pop into the little store and get some little things, but now I know I'm alright because I can eat, and you know, the dilemma of having an empty stomach tonight has passed. So I'm not really sure if we're going to stay here or not, but it's been a nice cruise about. As I said this morning, it hasn't been the big sort of long stints that we're used to when we're on the Southern Broads. So we've been down to Wroxham, we've been up to Horning. So if we don't do any more, I'm happy. I know it's not the most thrilling of videos for you, but I have conquered the terribleness of the New Inn. Every time I've moored here, doesn't matter what boat, hire boat, Broad Ambition, the current, the wind conspire against me and everything goes tits up. But today I came in, turned around, went in, job done. Not a problem. So you can do it without cocking up outside the New Inn. So anyway, there may be more later. We'll see. Maybe not. This could be the end. I'll let you know. So after a couple of pints in the New Inn, Broad Ambition is departing. I'm following in a moment. Broad Ambition, this is Rascal, just wondering if you've got comms.
I certainly have. Have you got comms?
I have now, yeah. My radio wasn't turned on earlier.
Oh, don't do nicely and tickle it in my place when we turned on then.
Yeah, the only problem is it gets a bit moist.
Oh, keep it out of the river.
So just a little update for you. On our left hand side shortly will be the Ferry Inn at Horning. We've just departed from the new inn. I stopped off there, went into Horning, got some provisions, so we're good for food. And then of course met up with the crew of Broad Ambition, had a couple of pints in the new inn, met with Jason Hatch, formerly a Laden Bridge boatyard, had a nice chat with him. And there's a real community feel on the rivers, whether it's you meet someone you know from a forum, whether it's someone that might watch a video of mine, friends you've known for a few years. That spirit of community, we're all in it together, how you doing, let's stop for a chat, etc, etc, lives on strong on the Norfolk Broads, and may long it continue, because certainly where I live, it's just not that kind of atmosphere, you know. It's not the situation where you know your neighbours and so on and so forth, and people come, they rent a house for 3 months, they disappear, next people for 6 months, they disappear. It's not the same sort of community spirit. And so it's nice to see that when you come afloat, everybody is in it together. They're hiring boats, they're owning boats, and you know, they stop off at the pubs and exchange sort of tales and stories, and you'll meet new people, and it's just a lovely feeling. I'm sure this is repeated across the country, whether it's canals or, you know, different rivers. There's always the hubs where the boaters come together, and that's usually, of course, the good old pub. Grey old day, 10.1 degrees currently outside, but toasty on the inside at 21, thanks to Belmore's very efficient heating system. And we're just taking a slow cruise to Ranworth. Just passing, just one of the things I just noticed then is a old, I still call them connoisseur cruisers. I know Herbert Woods has inherited them, but there's that engine note, you know, it's like the good old Perkins or a BMC, it's synonymous with the Broads, just as those are with their, you know, hydraulically driven engines at the back. But that just led me to think of Carousel, Broadsman, Commodore, which also have engines at the back on hydraulic drives. And because there's very little room between the engine and the outside of the boat for a silencing system, so therefore the noise of the engine is considerable compared to, say, this boat, which by the way does have, as boats go, this is probably the quietest boat. I know it doesn't sound like it on the microphones of my camera, and that's just because of the pitch of which the microphones are sensitive to and the noise pitch from the engine. But in here now, whether you're doing 1000 RPM or 1800 RPM, it's a quiet boat. It really is, compared to a lot of boats. But it's also really quiet on the outside of the boat because of the frankly stupendously large water lock. It's like a silencer for a boat, basically. The exhaust gases and the sound come in a series of chambers, and the water as well fills it up, and it does two things. First of all, well, it actually does three things. First of all, it's like on a swan neck, so it means that water can't very easily at all find its way from the outside of the boat to the inside of the engine. Secondly, it's a way to reduce noise. And thirdly, it's a way where the water that's gone through the cooling circuit of the engine is ejected into, and when it fills up to a certain level, it then goes whoosh. And that's why when you're just idling, it's not a continuous stream of water, depends on the watercock. Some of them are quite tubby metal containers, some are plastic. There's all different sorts, sizes, types. Some people have 2. But basically what it does is it acts as a silencer, and it also takes the heat away from the exhaust gases as well. And this boat has a particularly large one, which means when you're standing outside the boat you hear no engine noise. All you hear is the water ejecting into the river. It's amazing. Whereas some other boats, like the old connoisseur cruisers, Broadsman, Commodore, Carousel, you know, those types, they have a real tone to them. You can really hear the engine, and it's a shame that with all of this sort of ecology thought with hull design and materials and solar panels and, you know, increasing uses of technology, that good old-fashioned outside sound may have been let be forgotten. That doesn't make sense. Let be forgotten. But obviously if you have an exhaust that makes virtually no sound, you don't disturb people as much when you're moored up or going past or going down the river. Just saying. So there is the old lady herself, Broad Ambition, Charlie Griffin, just correctly cheesing down the ropes. Stickler for things to be done correctly. You can't blame him. He's been in the Royal Navy. Cockshoot Dyke here on our right hand side. As you can see, yeah, lots of grey cloud, and the temperature continues to drop. I think it's going to be a cold old night tonight. Now this passing here is what you call sort of like a gentleman's launch. But my goodness me, has that got a big red duster on it or what? Or should we sort red ensign? The steering wheel mounted unusually on the vertical. What I keep meaning to do for Broad Ambition is, you see they're flying the Yorkshire Rose. Why not? They're from Yorkshire. I'm not. So what I need to do is get a flag for myself. Now the closest county and where I live used to be in Middlesex, would be Middlesex, but I'm not too sure. I bought a Middlesex flag and it looked good, but it was massive, and I can't easily find a medium-sized Middlesex flag, so I'm sort of thinking about having my own design, but that's for the future. It's still strange that sorry to jigglate the camera. I do find it still a bit strange that there's a classic boat of the Norfolk Broads before me. I'm in this hire boat, and it's not just like, oh, that's just a boat. Oh, that's a nice boat. Oh, I know the people on that boat. No, that's partly mine. And, you know, I've been on it, me and Sheila have been on it, and, you know, invested money into it, and it's just lovely to see it on the water rather than being on it, because it really has both graceful and quite modern lines to it, I think. So that's just me. Very nice, warm, cosy boat. I remember being on it at New Year's, and all the fiberglass boats were covered in frost, and so were we. The difference was we were still covered in frost when that all melted off, giving an idea of the insulation properties of Broad Ambition and wood compared to thin fiberglass. So that was day 8 of the Captain's Blog, and it's ended here at Malthouse Broad at Ranworth Staithe, and I can just say that high-sided, lightweight, planing hull boats in a side wind, not so nice to moor stern on. Also, we're suffering from a terrible case of bow slap here. The wind has really got the little wavelets all bunched up, and I don't know if you can tell, but I can certainly tell, and certainly in the front cabin there, terrible bow slaps. I hope that calms down later. And that's just, by the way, where the little wavelets hit the chines on planing holes, and it just goes between them and shump, 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 and keeps you awake at night. Not suffered on other boats such as bathtubs, or any boat that has a rounded hull. You won't get this effect, but low wash hulls as well, such as what Faircraft Lines and Lenfunnel at Horning Ferry Marina, they will also capture those little bits of water between them, and you'll get bow slap, which may keep you up all night. But from here, on a lovely Broad, even though the weather's a bit chilly, 9.5 degrees outside, it's a grey day, but it's been a nice day, it's been a relaxed day, it hasn't been too much cruising around. So as far as the video goes, not the best for you guys, I guess. As for tomorrow, who knows? Tomorrow, Saturday, is the penultimate day of this episode of the Captain's Blog, or series of the Captain's Blog. But I've certainly enjoyed what we've done so far. We've been down south, there's a lot been going on with that. So as I said, these last few days, the cruise about days on the Northern Rivers, not so much content perhaps to see, to do, but I hope you've otherwise enjoyed. So until next time, until tomorrow indeed, that's been Day at the Captain's Blog. More as ever as it happens.